Nice one. So you're fighting on the Bellator Champions Series card in Dublin on June 22nd.
Yeah,
How's your preparation going for that?
yeah. The preparation went well. I've been consistent with me training for the last 2 3 years. I've went from fight to fight to fight to fight, back to back. So I've had no let off. I've been on a good run of wins, good momentum built. I'm in full flow with me coaches. We're working, continuously and putting some effort in. So I can't complain. I've no injuries. I'm healthy, and I'm very focused. So I can't complain. I'm just counting down the days now to get in and do the job next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, great stuff. And your opponent Jose Sanchez, how do you see that fight panning out? What's some of his strengths that you see?
How do I see it panning out? I think he's very one dimensional. I think he's gonna look to do one and one thing only, and it's just to grab a hold of me in the clinch, put me up against the cage, and try his best to take me down. You know what I mean? I don't think he has any striking skills. No boxing, no kicking. He has a bad control of the distance. And even at that, his one-dimensional grappling skills, I think they're very mediocre, and I think I'm just levels above him. So how I see it planning out is him being desperate, rushing into me, basically running at me to get the clinch, and failing to do so. I think he's gonna walk onto a lot of shots by me. He has some habits that he does that I've noticed in terms of how he enters. What punches he uses to enter, how far away he enters. So there's some bad habits there from him that I'm gonna capitalize on. He's gonna walk onto a lot of shots from me, and he's gonna do so much to try and take me down. But I'm a very, very good wrestler, very, very good grappler. I just don't see it going his way, and I think I can, if I catch him with the shots that I think I can catch him with, I think I can KO him inside 2 rounds.
Oh, nice, nice. So have you been focusing a lot on takedown defense and just getting back off the cage this camp?
Yeah, well, I had a different opponent initially, so we worked a lot on our striking game, leading into it, and then I had the opponent change. But to be honest, every single day I do, like, the preparation that I've put into Jose would have been is my day-to-day preparation anyway. I spend a lot of time in the clinch in SBG. We spend a lot of time against the fence with our back on the fence, and I'm with such good grapplers every single day that I'm training them areas anyway every single day. So this is just gonna be like another day in the gym for me. He's gonna try his best to put me into positions that I'm always in and I'm comfortable in anyway. So I feel like, yeah, it's a bad fight for him. He's gonna have a plan A and it's not gonna work, and his plan B just won't. I don't know if he'll have a plan B. He'll be Even if his plan A doesn't work, he's gonna try so hard to keep that plan A working, but it won't work. And in the fights I've watched of him, he goes so hard in the first round to secure dominance, and that's a lot of energy consuming. You know what I mean? Energy consumption. He's not efficient with his energy systems, whereas I'm very energy efficient, and I can only see it going one way from him, and that's bad.
So if all goes to plan and you get that knockout inside 2 rounds on June 22nd, you come away with the win. What are your next steps? Is there any fight in particular you're eyeing up or?
I don't know. I don't not a fight in particular, but I'd love to get on that. There's a Bellator card in Wembley on the 16th of September. I think that's a good turnaround. It's roughly thereabouts about 12 weeks after this one. So I'd love to get on that one, and then fingers crossed get the win there, and then I'd love to try aim for that $1 million PFL season next year in 2025. That's something I'd love to do. I feel like I've been racking up the wins. I've been fighting consistently. I've been showing I can fight, consistently with quick turnarounds and get consistent finishes. So that's something I'd love to work towards for 2025. Now, whether that happens from me or not, I don't know. But I'm just gonna keep in their ear and keep an eye on them, and maybe it'll work out if I keep calling for it. But all I can do now is control the then and now and whatever fights in front of me. So I'll put this lad away and then hopefully get get that London card. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah. So you were previously a Bellator fighter as well, and you joined PFL before the acquisition.
Yeah.
Am I right? So yeah, so you've sort of seen this sort of transition where all these, they've acquired the whole Bellator roster now with PFL. But have you noticed anything sort of majorly different or anything with the company, the promotion, and just the way they sort of run the event since that acquisition?
I think since PFL took over, there's been a little bit more attention to detail and how they handle the fighters. I think their fighter management is better. The logistics, the information you're given, I think it's better organized. Now that's no diss to anyone who was in Bellator beforehand, but I just felt like going from Bellator to then having 4 fights with PFL, and then they took over the Bellator. So the last Bellator I fought on, which was ran by PFL, was basically like a PFL style operation event, and it was very similar. So I know all the lads from the company. I've been working with them for the last 2 years now. I have a great relationship with them all, and yeah, I just feel like PFL's relationship with the fighters is very good, and it's great to be a part of such a professional organization.
Yeah, great stuff. So how do you feel about the sort of the format? 'Cause it's obviously got the league and the tournament format, difference from most other promotions. Do you prefer that? Do you think it gives you more opportunities?
Yeah, I prefer it. I think it creates opportunities to fight. It means that you know you're going to be fighting regularly, which means you're improving. If the more fights you have in a quicker period of time, you're going to improve skillfully. And then obviously, in relation to that, more fights means more paychecks. So you're securing yourself, financial freedom, with each fight. But then again, it's just that excitement that comes with the league format of, getting getting the win is 3 points, getting the win in the fourth round is an extra bonus 3 points. It adds a little bit of an incentive to finish the fights earlier, which means that there's people who are gonna obviously take more risks. And yeah, that's exciting to watch. And I'm a predominantly a quick starter. I've 10 wins now, and 8 of them are in the fourth round by finish. So I think that that style of format suits my style of fighting. I think it's made for my style of fighting, and yeah, I'm really hoping that I can get into that season next year and be a part of it. I think I can make a big impact straight away, and fingers crossed I don't get injured. I think I can be a world champion by the end of 2025, no doubt about it. I know I can do it. I put the work in to be able to do it. So all I can do is control each fight, providing God given I don't have any injuries. I can be a world champion by the end of 2025. I know I can do it. My coaches know I can do it. We believe in the system. We can make weight every 8 weeks, no bother. I'm as disciplined as I've ever been. I'm as nutritionally in tune as I've ever been, and yeah, I love the idea of the whole season format.
Yeah, cool. And so, like you see, like you're saying earlier, you've been on a bit of a run at the moment. So you're on a 10 fight win streak,
Yep,
but you started out your professional career with 2 losses.
yeah.
Do you think there's something specific that happened between those 2 losses and now the great run you've been on, like something you switched up maybe, or
Yeah,
yeah,
so my first 2 losses, I fought at bantamweight for them, and I feel like I was too big to be bantam, but I was almost because I was in between the weights, I was maybe too small to be featherweight, and because of that, I was like, "Fuck it, we'll just fight at bantamweight." But I didn't have the nutritional information. I didn't have a nutritionist. I didn't, I had a full-time job as well. I was trying to balance everything like that, and I was burning the candle at both ends. And when the time came to fight, I just wasn't there, and my chin was deteriorated from the lack of proper nutrition and hydration, and yeah, just a lot of mistakes I made in me me early career, just due to maybe a lack of maturity, a lack of knowledge in the sport of the weight cutting process. And yeah, look, it is what it is. It's been a learning curve for me. But I made the conscious decision that I was gonna move up to featherweight, get really big, get strong, be explosive, and really put a lot of time into me skill training, as opposed to putting a lot of time into making weight. I felt like when I was fighting at bantamweight, the whole 8 weeks was about making weight. I wasn't about skill training. And then I've moved up to featherweight, and I could put all my time into my skills, and it was the best decision I've made. And here we are now, 10 fights later. I'm on a 10 fight win streak, 8 first round finishes. Things are going exactly how I wanted them to go. But to like, I think I needed to have that kind of that them 2 losses at the start of my career, just to give me an L kick up the arse and wake me up, and make me learn a harsh lesson about the game I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's definitely working out for you, mate. Um, so we'll take it back again. So you had your debut back in 2017.
Yeah.
Just tell us a bit about how you got into MMA and maybe sort of, yeah, your inspiration of why you ended up choosing that path.
Yeah, so I joined MMA in I started to get into it around 2009. I was a big WWE fan, and I saw Brock Lesnar was joining UFC, and it just sparked some curiosity. So I bought the PlayStation game UFC 2009. I started playing that. I created my own fighter, and I saw the disciplines involved. You could pick boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all that jazz, and that just sparked a bit of curiosity in me. And then I looked into MMA then, and looked around the local area for some clubs, and I found one that was literally 2 minutes from my house, and decided to, with a bit of convincing of me ma, to let me join it. And I joined, and here we are. My fourth ever class was a Muay Thai class, and I had a big interest in jiu-jitsu more so because I just loved the thought of choking someone out and armbarring someone and blah blah blah. But my first class was a Muay Thai class, and I just knew from that day. I made the conscious decision that on that day I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life, and here I am now, fulfilling that wish that I was gonna be doing this for the rest of my life, fulfilling the dream that I set for myself. And I was always a bit of a like a delusional big dreamer as a child, and I always thought I could be a world champion if I put my mind to it, and that's what I'm working towards now. All these years later, 14 years later or so.
Yeah, amazing. Who did you always go for when you were playing the game? Who was your go-to fighter that you picked?
I used to always just pick Brock because you double leg them and just hammer fist them on the ground. You know what I mean? And get the
Yeah,
win because
yeah.
his stats were so overpowered. It was great. Like, but I would have lent into GSP then, and then John Jones as well. I was a big John Jones fan. Still am.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, great. Um, so that's sort of leads into another question. If Nathan Kelly wasn't an MMA fighter, what do you think you'd be doing?
Um, I don't fucking know, Jesus. Like, right, I'd need. I think I'd be a. I think I'd be a definitely. Like, I do coach jiu-jitsu at the minute as well, but like, will I take away all martial arts, or will I just take away MMA? That's the question.
I suppose, yeah, if you weren't doing MMA, you'd be involved in some way, wouldn't you, with martial
Yeah,
arts?
I think I'd be a big jiu-jitsu head. I'd love, and even in the future, I feel like I'll own my own academy in the future. Um, but I reckon I'd have a big part to play in jiu-jitsu, or opening up a business of some sort. I have a business mind, and yeah, I'd be doing something with myself. I've always wanted to run my own business, have employees and all that jazz. So I feel like that I would have got into something business related. But to say what I would be doing, I don't know for sure. And if I wasn't doing any martial arts at all, I suppose I'd be playing football,
Yeah,
football or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And so I suppose further on that, British and Irish MMA in general is kind of on fire at the moment, seeing massive rise in the amount of fighters who are sort of reaching great heights from these areas.
Yeah,
And we've got a big card coming to Manchester soon, UFC 304. How do you just get just little predictions from you on how you think those ones go down? So you got Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby Green on that card.
I think Bobby Green beats Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah. That's a lot of people seem to be swaying towards Bobby on that one. Yeah, it's a tough fight for him.
Yeah, it's a
And
tough fight for Paddy, but I think Bobby's very, very sharp at the minute. His hands are crisp. He has a very good understanding of the distance, the range in between the striking and the grappling. He's a fucking dog. So, Paddy would have to really, really be switched on. And I think Paddy's obviously gonna look to try grapple, take him down and maybe get a submission, but he has to get in close to do it. And I just think Bobby's on such good form now lately. He's really in his stride. The tough ask for Paddy.
yeah. And then we've got Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades on that card too.
Yeah, I think Tom wins. I think his output is very good. He moves so he doesn't move like a heavyweight. He's determined. Um, yeah, I think Tom beats Curtis, but Curtis is very good as well. Curtis is very good as well. He's experienced. He's been at the top for a while now. He has that on his side, but the momentum that Tom is on, his trajectory has been nothing but up the last while, and I think that's what's gonna get him over the line against Curtis.
Yeah. And finally, Leon versus Blau. How'd you see that one playing out?
I think Leon again. The last fight he came out and went at Bilal. He was blasting kicks at him as if he owed him a few quid, and he was doing well. I think Bilal has such a tricky game. He just does not stop. It just depends if Leon can control the distance and stop him from coming in and getting the clinch off. But Leon's wrestling and clinch work is underrated as well. So as we seen with Usman's his last fight with Usman, but I think Leon over 5 rounds.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff. Yeah, and it's been great chatting to you, Nathan. Best of luck for June 22nd, and hopefully, we'll get you back on once you got your victory, and we can talk about what's up next.
Cheers, Tyler. I appreciate you having me. Yeah.
Nice one, mate. Legend.